playing on that, or you need to play around it. They choose the former. They will remove it. And our first map of HGC Korea playoffs will be Dragonshire. The insta-ban here on Garrosh against Judy, no surprise.
No surprise, because Judy has been focusing on that Garrosh so well. And their tank pool actually does not really overlap. We're going to a quick draft here as Maiev is already picked up. Oftentimes in the other region, especially NA, we have Maiev and Medivh just automatic ban almost. But Korea is a little different in the terms that they actually they used to pick Maiev in a different way. They used to hold it until the last moment. If they think they have the right team comp to do so, then they would pick Maiev 4th or 5th pick. But it's going to be a different case for GLuck, and Miracle responds with the Genji Tyrael as Milky Way's favorite. There's the Tyrael already.
That's right. And
but never mind, on to the other team.
Sure, and you know, Genji obviously also the favorite hero of Relic. This is not a map he likes to play the Genji on particularly, though. That's more the BOE's Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple, where we see more of the Genji play out of him. So ETC gets locked in, so we do have Milky Way's backup here on the ETC. We're going to grab the Stukov early. This comp is already set up to use the cage very well. You can have potential mosh pits in there, but you also can silence anyone in there. You prevent Sanctification from being a counter to the Maiev. So very solid lineup already. And it's difficult for Miracle to draft around this now because there's so many DPSs available in this meta that you struggle to find the right ban here. And I like how GLuck has basically said, we're committed to the Maiev comp. We're going to have our best tank, given that the Tyrael's taken away, and we're going to grab Stukov so you can't counter it with Sanctification. We're committing to the Maiev comp. Now, sure, you can ban the Junkrat, but does that really give you full control over this? I don't think so.
It's an okay idea, I would say. Overlord, of course, the one to play Junkrat is open. It seems very likely, so that will be the safe one. But you don't want to choke your own support, of course.
Remove the Hanzo.
Instead.
Hanzo obviously works really well with the composition, plus would give them so much map control, and even with the Hanzo nerfs, he's very powerful at controlling caps, so Hanzo could be a great way to pair the stun with the Warden's Cage and then obviously control camps, but that's not going to happen. You see the ETC ban now, just trying to choke out the power of Genji here. Or sorry, Luther ban. Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Going too far there. Of course, Genji on that E-Shield can be pretty powerful. This is before the Genji changes to that Dragon Blade at 10.
Yeah.
So we are still at a 31.3 hatch with the Phoenix nerf and Maiev Medivh nerf slightly.
That's right. I don't know how much Phoenix we'll see in this playoffs, to be honest. I'm guessing a pretty small amount.
We saw a lot of NA games just this morning in Korean time that once you are caught in FUCC, Phoenix was just gone instantly. So they will actually steal the Junkrat away instead of banning it.
Yep, this is great. You were talking about this earlier, how it's one of Gun's best picks.
Insta-pick with Raymond and Phoenix. Here we go.
Well, this actually could be a Planet Cracker draft.
I do think so. Also, the Silence along with the Mosh Pit and the Planet Cracker.
Interesting that they pick it so instantly. Like, they were certain that this would be a very strong setup. Greymane gives you tons of wave clear. So does Phoenix, obviously. But Greymane can also help them cap. So they have control of the caps right now. Rhaegar can cap with the Genji. They can invade camps. They have some control with the Concussive Mine on the neutral camp, for example, but GLuck will always have the faster camp timings and arguably the better invades. With the ETC Maiev Stukov, you can invade a lot of Siege Giants, so I do like the draft of GLuck better overall on paper. The execution, though, is something we're going to have to look at a little bit closer as we get in-game, because on paper, this can work well. If you hit those combos, you control the camps, but if you end up getting locked down or stunned, or sorry, not stunned, but knocked away by the Concussive Mines and Miracle controls the early game, you're going to have a bad time. I think they need more CC here with their solo laner. It is going to be Thrall that we get. Sundering can be a very powerful tool. Can interrupt Warden combos that way. You can also sunder the Stukov to prevent his silence. So there's a lot of cool ways you can use the Thrall in team fights.
That is certainly one more. Maybe with an Earthquake, even if the Sundering can be a good tool to actually escape from the cage, at least delay from the CC chain happening. They have the best tool. They have the material, but it will be all up to. It will be mostly up to that player with the, of course, Blue Beetle. He'll be on that Stu Cup.
Yeah. You know, this is really interesting too. Think about this for a second. We don't have a traditional solo laner for Team GLuck. They have Maiev, but Maiev is normally used as a roaming hero in the early game, and she has been played as a solo laner in Korea, but not very often. So this is, in a way, a triple DPS comp with no tank top laner. So solo tank ETC, very squishy, very, very vulnerable to Dragon Blade. So these are things we have to keep in mind. It's a kind of a rare draft here, and who ends up matching up against the Thrall in the top lane is yet to be seen.
Phoenix is totally fine as a top laner.
Yeah.
I've been saying that Phoenix actually wins against base.
He crushes
a lot of the heroes that's even the ranged ones. And Phoenix is not too bad, has in his own escapes. So we may actually see either Greymane or Phoenix.
Yeah, Greymane, Phoenix, and Maiev all can do well. Obviously, you lose wave clear if you send one of the DPSs. You lose CC potential and early pick potential with the Maiev if you send Maiev up. We're going to clear this wave insanely fast here with the 5-man. Miracle respecting this, knowing that there's just too much CC here. They could be picked. And it looks like it is going to be Phoenix going up to the top lane. Good call there, GLuck. Still the kind of a rare thing, and I do agree with you. You and I were talking about how it's absolutely a possibility we'd see Phoenix in this top lane. Gets rooted here, but we'll still get the warp away.
And it's still okay. You don't really regen too much, but you get your shield in a way, so you can actually stay in lane somewhat, even without the support coming to heal you. So Phoenix, in that terms, I was only thinking about a spider, because that's usually the map that Phoenix would solo lane instead of the other one, because this one's a lot more farther apart, but they're willing to try it on the Dragonshire tonight.
It's a really exciting playstyle, because I've been waiting for the day that we'd see a big comeback of, you know, DPS solo laners, not tanks, you know, not warriors like Dahaka, you know, Sonya, or melees. Ranged top laners. Really exciting stuff here.
Zagara.
Yeah, Zagara, for example, we saw in the past. Sylvanas. There's a lot of heroes that were more popular back in the day, but when the meta changed to more double tank, solo lane was basically required, or you needed an insanely sustainable solo laner. And this composition for GLuck doesn't have that. See, getting an insanely positive trade up here with the fast camp time. This is what we're talking about, controlling the camps, controlling the wave clear here, having a channel Dragon Knight right now pushing this top fort. Greymane's going to have no problem dealing with that bot push, and uh-oh, H82's caught. Does end up surviving, but this is a huge win for Team GLuck, as Greymane has no problems dealing with the bot push, easily cleaning this up.
Of course, it ends up being so much of a better trade for GLuck.
Yeah, they get a whole wall.
Look at this. Having that solo lane Phoenix actually does quite a lot of damage in Siege also. The Plasma Cutter actually going through will destroy the tower in few skill shots if you just leave that Phoenix alone. So there are lots of, if you think about Phoenix, there are lots of factors that makes him a very, very strong solo lane. With the range, he can actually sustain with the shield.
Yeah, he's got great wave clear.
Makes perfect sense here.
He's got great wave clear, he's got great pokes, he has great attack speed for dealing with structures, for example,
and
or
also
trading.
This escape for himself whenever the roaming comes.
Yeah. We're like narrowly dying here, but look at the rotation down. Sauron is really going to put this to work. This roaming Phoenix here. And every time he roams, he can wave clear while he's here. So that's the cool thing about Phoenix. It just comes over, does a ton of damage. Oh, I thought you could trade with me. Yeah, right. Genji, get out.
With the last Q. And Genji thought he could escape, and not even close. The agility, you will still take damage. You try to go over the wall.
Phoenix also does not use mana, and he does not have to use his abilities to wave clear. I mean, obviously it helps in the trades in the 1v1, but when he roams down to mid, for example, he could just switch to his AoE mode and blast those minions and head right back to the top lane, even on a larger map like Dragonshire. And he can contest against almost any top laner in terms of DPS, switching between these modes. Gets rooted again, but could just trade this out as long as he doesn't take damage against a melee. Guess what? His shields come back. Here comes a gank attempt by Sniper. He gets the warp out, though. And this top lane Phoenix, I'm really liking it. I'm really feeling it here, GLuck.
I think it's going to continue. I think it can be a big turnaround for the entire playoff we're going to have in Korea. And I wasn't really expecting it, but so far, during the solo lane, catching Genji, even roaming out because he was winning lane so hard with the help of his teammates a little bit too. Basically, becoming a winning card for GLuck in game number 1 right here.
Yeah, it's making such a big impact. And he hasn't died yet. He got movement speed at 4 instead of taking the cooldown resets with the takedowns, as that's obviously been a popular build in Korea, but this is the safer build. Well, HG2 cannot even... He actually could have died. They didn't have vision of where Genji was, and Sniper's doing the right thing here, but if Sniper was not coming up right now, that could have actually been a kill. Like, if he had vision and he knew that Genji was not coming up, he warps in and gets a kill. They do retake this shrine, but look at this. GLuck already took out the top tower. Now they've got the bottom one with this neutral camp they've grabbed that they're pushing with. They have total control over the map. This is what this draft is designed to do, is push out the top lane, control the map, control the camps. Team fighting is going to be a little bit of a different story, but they have a comp set up to deal, or to make team fights work as well. Relic gets caught.
Great mind there, though.
Yeah, silence.
Things around. That's going to be a trade with Tyrael. No other members actually coming down to fight here. Overlord will be okay escaping. But GLuck actually forced that rotation of Genji by having Phoenix, by winning lane super hard.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, I don't think they got their chance to push that bottom lane as hard.
Certainly not. And this is still just a trade. This isn't really a win for Miracle. Look at the fort health in the bot lane. The top lane has taken some damage as well. They're going to look for another channel here. Saron does not have vision of Sniper. Ping comes through. He gets the warp off before the root can come through. Scary moment there. They don't make the channel happen in the interim. Well, they are going to go ahead and start this camp. They have so much potential for killing camps, as you can see here with Greymane. They have Phoenix to rotate through. They have the Maiev.
Planet Cracker is locked in!
So, you and I called it in the draft. Mosh plus Cage plus Planet Cracker. It's a disaster on the side of Miracle if that combo hits you. So they need to be ready to make sure that does not happen. They need to be able to split this up using concussive mines. Sundering needs to be the lock in here. Earthquake is worthless against this triple DPS composition.
Will be the very first Planet Cracker from Korea.
Yep. I've seen it a few times in other regions to varying success. Has been very successful in North America. Here comes the first team fight here with 10. Relic looking to set this up, but Miracle does lock in their 10s now. Rip Tire's out, Sundering as well. Sundering's going to be the engage tool here. Look at all this damage coming through right now.
They want to dive, they still have to go take support damage maybe. It goes in, not really doing the mosh pit. It only pops in the cage. Now there's the mosh
sank! Perfect sank here, and that Sundering comes out. The Mosh is canceled. Planet Cracker here going to cut off the retreats. Milky Way gets the power slide out. Milky Way getting very low. Silence placed here to try to help him retreat. Shove comes through, Ancestral goes off though, and Sniper, he's got this Dragon Blade out. Relic dodging one, but he's not going to get the second. Dash resets coming through. And Miracle with a great sank into Sundering will shut down the combo. And that's exactly what they need to do consistently. We talked about how GLuck's going to control the early game with their wave clear, their camp control. Team fights, they have got a great setup for that too, but it can all be ruined by a good sank. It can all be ruined by that Sundering. And both were used there to stop this mosh pit from gaining massive value. Miracle likely to get this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, GLuck was worried about the same thing that I was worried about at the same time. Are we okay to actually dive into the fort? You know, we have the wave, but not 100%. We do have the power slide, and Milky Way was just waiting for that moment. Do I really mosh pit right now? Or so the connection was really off. It was after the cage. The Planet Cracker did not really end up doing too much. It was just the zoning, providing some exit. For Milky Way, he was caught right after. Of course, as you mentioned, Sanctification to cancel all that from happening together.
Yeah. Sank just sneaked in there at the perfect angle. It was actually really cool to watch. Uh-oh. Overlord just not understanding vision control here is going to get blown up. Sundering was committed there, so that's a little bit painful, but it means that this Dragon Knight is going to do so much more. Greymane's their greatest asset at poking it down at range. So, great pick here for Miracle. I think the Sundering usage was totally worth it. Saron is going to be split pushing at the same time because they have vision of all four. Not afraid. Now that he sees the rotation coming up through mid of Thrall, should want to warp out here. Getting the maximum value of trading here. Ooh, I don't know if he actually knew. He's dead. Wrecked. Why did he stay? He knew. At least we assumed he knew. He was backing off.
I think Saron is the Korean Zuna.
You've been watching too much NH.
Every morning, man. Every weekend morning.
Well, I don't think you can blame that one on lag.
Hey, so that was also on the Phoenix this morning, and of course that's a Genji, so he will get away.
I don't think you can blame that one on lag F, but having some top lane problems here. Milky Way getting caught here by this holy ground. He's going to be a target. Riptire's committed. I don't think he gets out of here. Sundering as well.
No
That's
way.
a dead ETC. Relic avoids that Riptire damage with a good vault, but Miracle has taken full control over this game now. GLuck is in serious trouble, and they can't control the map if they keep... now you put feeding into my brain. They keep feeding, all right? If they keep getting caught, if they keep rotating incorrectly, if they keep getting, you know, Miracle's just getting so much value out of the heroics. If they keep rotating like this and giving free kills over to Miracle, losing out in the top lane, Miracle's out rotating them, out ganking them, then they could never get map control back, which is what this draft was designed to do. And, yeah, Miracle looking primed to take a massive lead in this first game. They're going to get 16 first. Saron just needs to be a little bit less greedy. He's not a fall stat up here. He's a Phoenix, and he needs to know when those rotation trapping that needs to be communicated.
So what has happened to GLuck? Why are they losing? Of course, that team fight in the top fort was a big one, but right after that, they have been releasing themselves to open area and weak against the roaming, which they should have known. Like roam missing from the map. Of course, camp's already taken, so where would he be? He would be coming to other lanes to roam. Saron's going a little bit greedy. Also, Overlord not really keeping up with the tempo. I think the communication is coming really slow right now for GLuck.
Yeah, I would completely agree. You're going to see this rotation over now where Miracle responds a little bit late to this top push, but GLuck actually this time leaves properly at the right time. Don't stay in that top lane too long. Gets control of this bot Shrine, and they're going to handle this really well with the camp timing as these just came online. Greymaine's pushing bottom. They are rotating well when they're not dying. When they are alive, obviously they're getting a lot done, as you guys can see. And Miracle's close to 16 now.
Oh, Miracle, they know exactly what to go for. Of course, Saron being a little bit more cautious this time, as a lot were missing from the map.
You know, I think this is working really well for GLuck, though. He's pinging for help, but actually the team's saying no because
they're
doing
bot.
Yeah, they're doing so
and
much
the
more
fort should
bottom.
be close to being destroyed. Can't really see the HP bar
Yeah,
of the fort.
I think it's like half, half right now, but they had a massive push. And now they're kind of playing ping pong with Miracle. This is Miracle's weakest moment post 10 minutes. Ooh, that was a really cool sundering there. They're actually trying to turn this fight with it. There's the root. They could commit the blade. Sniper gets a kill, doesn't even need that blade. Dashing in. He's got the blade now. Junkrat tossing out the Riptire. Great power slide by Milky Way to save Blue Beetle.
Gets a kill into Overlord off screen somewhere.
Yeah, just in the midst of this action. But that was an incredible play from Miracle. But let's talk for a moment about Miracle's weak point. It's post 10 minutes.
Where was that Planet Cracker? Why is it not being used?
Well,
at all?
I feel like he could have used it, but in the heat of the battle, you don't expect things to happen this way. Miracle knew what they wanted to do with it. He doesn't want to use it here. I know the Korean Observer's trying to show, like, oh, you could interrupt, but he's just going to grab this. He knows the timing. Yeah, I do feel like Miracle has shown some... Besides their ability to roam and get kills, their macro has been a little bit faltering in this late game.
Yeah, they're laning because of the draft. It was all happening because of Phoenix laning, just pure dominance over Thrall. I'm pretty sure Miracle was not really expecting that. It took a long time to lock that in after the Phoenix lock-in, along with the Greymane, starting from the draft. But once the laning phase was off, when it comes to the rotations and the more experienced team, is Miracle indeed.
Yeah. And Miracle is just trying to threaten Saron so hard. But I'm going to be honest with you, GLuck. I feel like the commitment to trying to kill Phoenix in the top lane, even though they have gotten him twice now in the solo lane, has actually given GLuck so much more control over the map and the camps in the bottom lane. And if you look at the fort health bot versus the top health, this commitment has not been effective. They've killed him a few times, which I think was Saron's fault. So if you imagine if he played even a little bit better, it would have been even less effective. I think Miracle is kind of... They're sticking their head into the tunnel of this tunnel vision. I have to kill the Phoenix. Phoenix is running away with us in top lane. They got a Dragon Knight. They're leading one Dragon Knight to 0, and they have not killed any forts, whereas Miracle's about to get the first 2 of the game. Or sorry, GLuck is about to get the first 2 of the game. 3 low health. They might even get all 3.
That's the thing, GLuck. He got the first one down here as they're kind of using a Phoenix as something like a global, like a Dehaka. He's been staying up there this entire time. Maybe he's looking for that big Planet Cracker along with the mosh pit, but he's not really pushing the lane as much as the Haka. He can't really join into the team fight.
It really reminds me of how Zagara used to be played as a top laner. Large range damage. Oh, hold that thought. Silence coming through here. Does get out with the Holy Ground. Barely survives with the Smite. Is just going to drop down and get that healing well. But yeah, it reminds me of, and Planet Cracker probably could have killed him. But it reminds me of Zagara because, you know, you have team fight potential with this hero, but he's mostly just shoving top. No escapes. Ancestral well-timed here, going to help Sniper, but he does get caught in this mosh. Perfect Sundering here to disengage. Sundering from HA2 have been on point tonight.
We're getting dashed. There's the first kill from Genji. Continuing on, the cage pops up pro defensive, but Sanctification just ignoring all the cage there.
Saren coming in.
Overstepped a little bit from Miracle.
Yeah, Saren coming in. They don't have that Ancestral anymore. They don't have that beefy heal. Planet Cracker is going to be held here once again. They look for a channel. That's optimistic. Looks like they're just going to fight this out as the respawn for ETC is still a ways away.
Well, against 5 men with the shield from Imperial, that's not a good idea. You're looking for some luck. Gets the bind onto a Rehgar.
Saren blown up though. Shove coming out late here. Not going to be able to save him. This was an overextension by GLuck. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish here, if I'm honest with you, GLuck, because they were fighting 5v4. They trade one back. Overlord should get out, but Sniper's going to trade here. Well, he stayed. He might not get out. Gunza wants to chase. Can they root him? I think they can kill him. This fort is full health. They're not going to bite on it. But, like, they're trying to channel Dragon Knight. I understand they want to take pressure away and buy time for ETC's respawn to come through. They don't want to just walk away, give control. Ended up losing so. Miracle's going to have 20 soon, but they stayed so long in mid, so greedily trying to buy that time, that Miracle punished them.
If they bought time and not lose any members, maybe it was worth it, but they were going to lose members because what Miracle has right here is designed to trap at least the member and trap him down with the Genji, with the Riptire. There's the first damage, and because of that timing, they lost even more. Now the Dragon Knight goes there, 20! And it seems like this will be a keep at the least.
Certainly. They'll get much more out of this Dragon Knight than the previous one. Comes in at 16 minutes. It's a lot of poke on the side of GLuck with their triple ranged, but Phoenix is just staying top because they want to minimize the time that Miracle has 20, while they do not. Rehgar coming back from the respawn now, heading straight towards the bottom lane. They want to stay in this push. They want to look for kills and potentially a core here, as Phoenix is in that top lane. So much damage being done to this keep. Dragon Knight down to half health. Phoenix is not budging. He's staying top.
Are they going straight in because they're 21? Phoenix still staying all the way up there. There's a charge.
Okay, those minions were dancing.
Insta-mosh cancel. Silence not really pairing up too much. There's a Riptire. Planet Cracker not really doing too much damage. Dragon Knight still on there. Station drop right between the cage.
Milky Way not doing anything with that power slide. The silence here is well placed. Saron escapes. I think they're going to have to back out here. Milky Way getting those heals coming through from the Stukov, who shoves. But that's another kill. This might be too much now. They're looking for Saron, body blocking him out. He gets into the Hall of Storms. Healing up right now, doing as much damage as he can. Will Milky Way get out? No, he will not. And now it's just Overlord and Saron here. Saron doing his damnedest to get back into this fight. Ancestral connects here. And it looks like this is the right core call for Miracle. Warp back into the Hall of Storms, but Miracle will take game number 1 of our first series of playoffs.
Well, what happened to Miracle? What did they do within the last 2 weeks?
They've been really pumping up their ability to, I think, get control of the map via kills, being aggressive. And it reminds me of the first time we saw L5 step onto the scene, because they were known for good control of the map, good control of macro, but what they became famous for later on, as soon as they won that season of OGN Super League, they became famous for their control of punish play. Greedy plays were always shut down by Ballistics, and today, in the same light, whenever we saw the aggressive overextensions from Saron in the top lane, he was killed. When they were rotating down to get Giants, there were kills. HA2 did not hesitate to pull out the Sundering every single time he thought it would get them a kill. Sniper as well, with his Dragon Blades committing. I think HA2 for me was by far the MVP in this game.
I think there is something that we want to point out here. Phoenix, even though he stayed in lane that much, had less experience than a Junkrat. That means there's something wrong there. That means that Saron, after getting picked up, he was really scared, not really soaking up too much experience in that top lane alone.
Well, we also do have to remember that almost everyone on Miracle got close to, with the exception of Jaehyun, the experience, because they have a 16 kills to 3 as well. There is that like extra asterisk we have to add, but yeah, he should have had more, but he was in that top lane basically the entire time. playing like a Zagara. Back in 2015, we had a lot of Zagara play in Korea. Very, very popular hero to play in the top lane. But it was never played with Nidus. That was not meta back then because it was a lot weaker.
Maul,
it was
course.
Maul only, combo based. This comp reminds me of that a lot because it's got 3 DPSs, 3 ranged. Their top is a DPS who pushes but can also team fight, but is looking for a big combo with Planet Cracker, Mosh Pit, and the Warden's Cage, similar to how Maul would try to set up big combos with Li Ming, where you try to get a triple Maw, quadruple Maw, and then Li Ming tosses the damage in. Very much a style that we saw MVP Black play, TNL play, later becoming, of course, Miracle, many of those members. So it really reminds me of that style. They controlled the early game, they controlled the camps, but then they got picked too many times, and Miracle just executed them there at the end. I loved how liberally, and I want to say liberally, but also how coordinated it was when we saw these picks come through. When they wanted to punish people, they were willing to commit all of their heroics. They're willing to commit 4 heroics to kill 2 people to get control of the map, and I think that's why Miracle won this game.